Lots of drama on the north side, but the White Sox sweep the Cubs. Liam Hendriks gets his 7th save. Sox fans everywhere rejoicing. It's just a 3-game winning streak for the Sox, but can this be just the start of something bigger in the month of May?
You are Locked On White Sox, your daily Chicago White Sox podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, Sox fans, welcome to Locked On White Sox. Thank you for making Locked On White Sox your first listen each and every day. We're free and available on all platforms. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Sox. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just search Locked On White Sox. Hey, I'm your host, Nick Borowski, a lifelong diehard Chicago White Sox fan, recording this podcast just blocks from the ballpark in beautiful Bridgeport. You can find me on Twitter at Nick_GGTB. Really appreciate you letting me steal some of your time to talk White Sox. Locked On White Sox is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. The month of May could be the time the Sox turn things around. And was it weird seeing Nick Madrigal in a Cubs uniform? But first, the Sox take care of business and sweep the Cubs on the north side. State of the Sox. Sox are now 11-13, a minus 18 run differential, and they're 3.5 games back of Minnesota. Wow, there was some drama on Wednesday night at Wrigley. Temps in the 40s, cold but dry, nail biter for sure, back and forth. But the Sox sweep the Cubs, and boy, it feels good to feel good, huh? Could this catapult the Sox maybe into a bit of a long winning streak here? They got an off day on Thursday, but maybe take these good feelings, these winning ways out on the road. You never know. A lot of drama, a lot of intensity, had some playoff, feelings. Steve Stone talked about it. Very intense. Just the reaction alone from Liam Hendriks as the game ended. I mean, told you everything you needed to know. Very exciting stuff. Robert returned on Wednesday night, but no Andrew Vaughn again. He might need an IL stint. Hasn't played since getting hit on the wrist last Friday. X-rays are negative, but still sore when he swings. So we'll see how things go. Sox manufactured some runs, got a couple home runs, did what they could to get Lucas some support. We'll get to the offense in just a bit. Giolito, he saw what Kopech did. He saw what Cease had done. It was time for Gio to keep the winning ways going, and he struggled early, as he has. His last start against the Angels, he gave up a couple home runs very early in the game and then settled down. This was the case again for Giolito, giving up 2 home runs in the second, and then he calmed down. He had some pretty good numbers. Went 5 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts. And of course, 2 of those 3 hits were home runs. He threw 101 pitches Wednesday night, and his ERA is down to 3.20. Lopez, Graveman, Bummer, Foster, and then Hendriks. That's how the bullpen worked. Everybody did a really nice job. It was Foster, though. He came into the 8th, folks, with 1 out, 2 on, and he got out of that jam. That was intense, high leverage situation. A lot of people questioning if that was the right move, bringing Foster in. He got the job done, and what a confidence builder that is for Matt Foster. I don't know if he's going to be in those situations moving forward, with Joe Kelly maybe coming into the mix next week, but that was a great sign to see from Matt Foster. Hendriks coming into the 9th, it was One, two, three from him, seventh save, and he saved both of those games of that quick 2-game series, the sweep of the Cubs at the hands of the White Sox. And talk about intensity. Liam Hendriks, man, was he jacked up. It was, such an exciting 2-game series. A lot of talk about, well, how come we can't do this when the weather's warm? How come we can't have a 3-game series in June or July? Why do we have to have it just two-game series and it's in May? What's wrong with baseball? How come baseball doesn't want us to have this? I don't know. That's a good question. We talked about on this podcast years ago. It was always a weekend series. It was always around summertime. Sometimes it was around 4th of July. And the city was rocking. The fans were rocking. It was intense. Lots of tailgating on the south side. Lots of excitement. People travel, obviously, a little bit more in the summer. Out of town Sox fans coming in to see a Cubs Sox game. Hey, it is what it is. Sox went over to the north side and they took care of business, and they won 2 games. The offense didn't really show up, but they were able to flex some power and then manufacture a couple runs. Abreu had a big home run early in the game. Leury Garcia, folks, had a home run as well. 2 on, only 1 out in the 4th. It was a 2-strike, 2 out, little kind of squibber through the hole on the left side by Gavin Sheets, who was able to get Robert home, tied the game up at 3. Gavin Sheets has talked about finding opportunities to kind of hit through the shift. Right? Well, I should say beat the shift. And he found an outside pitch, and he was able to take it to the left side. It wasn't anything fancy, but it got the job done. Any way you can get him, take advantage of it. Game was tied. Could have tacked on a few more. There was an opportunity in the 8th, though. Bases loaded, 1 out. Pollock hits into a double play. Pollock has really struggled in the last 7 games. He did have a bloop RBI single in the night, but, fans are demanding so much more. We'll go over some of his numbers later in this episode. And also, you look at a guy like A.J. Pollock, who in a way was essentially traded for Nick Madrigal, if you kind of want to connect all of those dots, which we will a little bit later. And, I know he was hurt early on, but Pollock has really struggled. I'm hoping he can string some things together when the weather gets warm. You feel like the Sox are a better team having him in the lineup and out in the outfield right now, playing a little left field, kind of being moved around as Vaughn is hurt, and obviously so is Jimenez. But that would have been a great opportunity. Bases loaded, 1 out in the 8th, just to really kind of break out of it. His last 7 games have not been good. His last 15 games have not been great. So I don't know, something to kind of follow, especially with Nick Madrigal kind of on the other side of the field. Do you justify the Nick Madrigal trade with how A.J. Pollock does? Again, we'll check in on that a little bit later in this episode. Hey, it was a 2-game quick series. Sox took care of business. It feels good now until late in May when the Cubs come over to the south side. So you've got bragging rights, folks, over your Cubs friends. It's going to feel a little bit better, especially with an off day. It's a weird time to have an off day because the Sox have this mini little winning streak going, but it's nice to maybe sit with this for about a day, especially after a 2-game sweep of the Cubs. I'm going to tell you why Michael Kopech is not satisfied and why it was weird seeing Madrigal in that Cubs uniform. More on that in a moment. Whether she prefers a statement piece or everyday subtle elegance, BlueNile.com has fine jewelry options for every mom. Shop high-quality classic diamond earrings, elegant tennis bracelets, or gemstone pendant necklaces. At BlueNile.com, you can celebrate all of life's special moments, from creating the custom engagement ring of her dreams to gifting a classic and timeless jewelry piece, all at prices you won't find at a traditional jeweler. Not perfect? No problem. 100% satisfaction guarantee. Shop stress-free with guaranteed free shipping and returns. Need your special purchase fast? In most cases, Blue Nile can deliver overnight. Every order is insured and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. Mark Mother's Day with something enduring. Classic diamond stud earrings, elegant tennis bracelets, birthstone pendants, and so much more on BlueNile.com. This Mother's Day, give mom something she'll treasure forever with fine jewelry from BlueNile.com. And Locked On Sports listeners get $50 off $500. This podcast exclusive is only good through Mother's Day. Use code LOCKED ON. That's code LOCKED ON. Plus, every order is insured, ships free, and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. Shop stress-free and find your forever piece. Go to BlueNile.com today. Thank you for making Locked On White Sox your first listen. For your next listen, check out the Locked On Now podcast. Recaps of MLB games with analysis from our local experts, taking fans through the season like no other network. Free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Let's revisit Tuesday night a bit. It was rainy, cold, nasty. Folks calling it one of the worst games that they ever played in terms of conditions. Michael Kopech pitched, was going through some of his comments and some of the articles that were written about that game, specifically Scott Merkin's article on MLB.com. And Michael Kopech had a lot of fire in his post-game comments, talking about being pulled in the fifth after giving up a hit to Nicky Two Strikes. Kopech was at the 83 pitch mark. You know, the conditions were nasty, rain, wind, cold. But Kopech did not want to be taken out. And it was a 14 pitch walk issued to Alfonso Rivas in the third, kind of helped drive Kopech's pitch count up to 83. And might have been what knocked him out early, Scott Merkin wrote. Here's some quotes from Kopech. "That's the conversation, right?" said Kopech of a big picture view of his season. "I want to be healthy at the end of the year and able to go 6, 7, 8 or whatever in July, August, September, hopefully October. I completely understand, but I'm still in the position where I want to do it now. I want to do it in May. I want to do it in June. I want to do it in July. I just want to give the best performance I can for my team every time I take the mound. And today could have been that. But I understand that I have some high pitch counts in earlier innings that kept me from being able to do that too. So I've got to be more efficient." Love the comments from Kopech. Love the passion. Love the mindset. He's saying all the right things. And Kopech throws a lot of pitches during a game. Sometimes he'll throw 20, 25 pitches, 30 pitches in the first inning and then settles down. He's aware of it. I love the mindfulness from Kopech. This is the long haul, but you can't question, he's a competitor. He has been waiting so long to be in the starting rotation for the Chicago White Sox, and he's seeing some successes. He's enjoying that. He's seeing what other guys on the staff are doing, and he's also recognizing, hey, this team is struggling. They need me out there. I feel like this team is better when I am on the hill, and he wanted to finish what he started. We're not quite there yet. As a fan, I want to see them out. I want to see him go a couple more innings, but I understand, the long play here. We'll get there in June, July, August. With the conditions and everything the way it was the smart move to take him out. But I loved reading some of the quotes from Kopech, the fire that he had on Tuesday night. Was it weird for you as a Sox fan watching Nick Madrigal play in these Cubs games? He did some things on Wednesday night. couldn't make a play, had a base hit. He was on base, he was running around doing his thing. He was active. Nicky Two Strike played 83 games for the Sox over 2 seasons. Was traded during the 2021 season while on the shelf for the rest of the season with a hamstring issue. He was traded along with Hoyer for Craig Kimbrell. Sox then traded Kimbrell for A.J. Pollock this past offseason, right before the season started, actually. Sox were in a win-now mentality last season at the trade deadline, and Nicky Two Strikes was not going to be able to produce. He wasn't going to be able to help us get to the promised land. It kind of stings. I posed this question on social media, on Twitter, on Wednesday afternoon. Did it feel weird for you? Did you regret that trade? Did you still want to have Madrigal in a White Sox uniform? And there were mixed replies, and I kind of felt like I was going to get that. There's some folks that felt like Madrigal was going to be our future second baseman. Madrigal was going to be around for a long time at a position that the Sox have been searching for a while to fill consistently. I think a lot of fans thought they found it in Madrigal. I think there was another group of fans that were not happy with his fielding, his base running. He made contact, but maybe that's not really what this White Sox team is going to be built on. He just kind of was the odd man out. I think it was, for me, how he was traded and what we got for him. We got a guy that we thought was going to, take us deep into the postseason. And there were a lot of reasons why the Sox got bounced by Houston. And Kimbrell could have been one of them, but we just did not get a good Kimbrell. We've argued as fans, and you've heard about it. We've read about it. We've heard from Hahn, whether it was because he was stuck pitching in the 8th opposed to the 9th. It is what it is. He's gone. He's with the Dodgers. We got A.J. Pollock in return. So I guess I'm looking at it as, well, let's see how Pollock plays out to see if that trade, was successful or not. Because essentially then you're not getting much for Madrigal, especially since the Sox didn't go out and get a proven second baseman that could be, at that spot for the next 3 to 5 years. Pollock, he had a bloop single in the series. Last 7 games, here is Pollock's slash line: 143, 136, 190. And, we're looking for more as fans. And I know he is looking for that. Again, I feel confident with him out in the outfield, a proven veteran outfielder, but was hoping for a lot more from the bat. Madrigal was going to be maybe the next Nelly Fox. He had speed. He had the ability to be a slick fielder, a 300-plus hitter, doesn't strike out. But just a little problematic maybe in the small sample size for Sox fans. I think that's why it was so easy to see him go. What we got in return, though, I just don't feel I'm just not satisfied yet. It's almost an incomplete grade on the trade. Just very weird seeing him, though, in a Cubs jersey when he was kind of supposed to be the next second baseman for the White Sox for many, many years. Honestly, it's still weird hearing Steve Stone call a game. I grew up and it was Harry Carey and Steve Stone calling Cubs games. And generation maybe before me was probably weird hearing Harry Carey call Cubs games because they remember him with the White Sox first. Honestly, it's still very bizarre hearing Len Casper get excited about the White Sox on ESPN 1000 after being with the Cubs for so many years. And, look who was in the Cubs on the hill for the Cubs at the end of the game on Wednesday: Robertson, a guy that was a huge offseason acquisition for the Sox many years ago, is now on the north side. So it happens. I feel like we're going to be watching Madrigal for a while on the north side, and hopefully we're not kicking ourselves, but I think he's going to be a good player. I don't know if he's going to be a 3,000 hit guy or, all that kind of stuff. But the fact that the Sox are still trying to find that franchise second baseman is what stings, honestly. Sox have a day off on Thursday. I'm going to tell you why the Sox turn things around, though, in the month of May. I want to tell you about Athletic Greens. I've been taking AG1, their flagship product, for over 3 weeks now, and have noticed improvement in my overall metabolism, better sleep, and I just feel better. So, what is this stuff? With one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, and probiotics to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. All the things. Athletic Greens has over 7,000 five-star reviews, is recommended by professional athletes, and trusted by leading health experts. It's cheaper than getting all the different supplements yourself. You're investing in an all-in-one nutritional insurance. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition, especially heading into the flu and cold season. It's just one scoop and a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/MLB network. Again, that is athleticgreens.com MLB Network to take ownership of your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. BetOnline.net is your number one source for all your betting stats and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, league reviews, and news, including this year's basketball playoffs, Major League Baseball, and this weekend's run to the Roses as the Kentucky Derby is back. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sporting wagering information, from live betting to playoffs, esports, and more. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. BetOnline, where the game starts. So the Sox have 4 days off in May. Thursday, May 5th is one of them. Sox are 3-1 right now in the early stages here of this month of May. The Sox are 12th in AL offensive production as a team. They are slashing .219, .274, .350. Not good. Need to pick it up a little bit. 7th in the league from what we're getting from our starting pitching, a .359 team ERA for Sox starters. The good news is the Sox have only given up 10 home runs. That was coming into the Wednesday night game. So tack on 2 more there. Still, that puts them in the league best area for the American League. However, starters have been giving up a lot of walks, 48 walks heading into Wednesday's game, which is tied for worst in the AL. We've talked about it on previous episodes. The Sox pitching gives up way too many walks, and their numbers show it. White Sox were 19-10 with a plus 51 run diff during the month of May in 2021. It was their best month of the season by far. Starting pitching was second in the league in May 2021, and their hitting was ranked 4th. May 2022 features games against Boston. We got 3 with them coming up, 3 with Cleveland, 7 with the Yankees, 5 with the Royals, and 2 with the Cubs on the south side, then finishing up the month against the Blue Jays. Yankees are the best team in baseball right now, and the Jays are 5 games over. Everybody else on that list are under 500. So an opportunity for the Sox to maybe get back into some winning ways and get over 500 for the month of May, perhaps. Moncada and Kelly are possibly coming back soon, maybe by the next homestand. So that will be great news offensively and bullpen. And you got to feel Lynn is coming back soon. So I have a feeling Sox rest up. And I really, the Boston Red Sox are under 500 right now. And I think, it's always a tough series with them. But I got a feeling, at this 3-game winning streak, Sox are starting to feel good. Sweeping the Cubs, high intensity, lots of emotion. take a breath, take a day off, and get back to work on Friday. Folks, really appreciate you making this podcast part of your daily routine. You can find the Locked On White Sox podcast everywhere you find your podcasts. We are on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Sox. You can find me on Twitter at Nick_GGTB. Really appreciate you making Locked On White Sox your first listen. Now make your second listen Locked On MLB with Paul Francis Sullivan. Just call him Sully. Brings you his unique perspective on the major leagues past and present. It's free and available wherever you get your podcasts. On the next episode, we are going to preview that big Boston series and what else is in store on that road trip before the Sox come home to hopefully some warm weather on the south side. Appreciate you making Locked On White Sox your first listen. I'm Nick Morawski. Until next time, go Sox.